Hey everyone, Andrew here again. Kind of a double feature day today. Got some news yesterday. Today as of recording, but to you watching this now, it's going to have been yesterday. So on top of the Nintendo 64 NSO, kind of sort of leaks, if you will. The only reason I don't really feel like it's a leak is because it was in a trailer we got forever ago, just for the CRT filter stuff. It's kind of just information that was there for a bit, and people just now started noticing things. Happens all the time with Nintendo stuff. But there was an insider claim that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct this week. Now, I've heard that hundreds upon hundreds of times in my life, and it's one of those things like it's 50-50. It's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. And I don't really try to get too excited about it because if it doesn't happen, I'm not disappointed. If it does happen, I'm hype, like everyone else would be, unless it's a completely wasted direct, like a partner direct or something. Not saying partner directs are bad. Sometimes you get good games out of that, but not usually the stuff you want to see. So yeah, I figured I'd kind of just go over some things that I would like to see if we got a real Nintendo Direct this week. So first off, I think the big thing I would like to see, and I know it's not going to be in the cards just yet. I kind of want to see if they have plans for a Mario Kart World DLC pack. I know that game just came out, and I'm asking way too much right now, out of that team, but they had been working on that game for so long. It was like 7 years of something like that. It was basically when the original Switch had come out. Like, they were already starting work on that game. And so I feel like it's not too crazy to think that maybe, just maybe, they've got some extra courses here and there they might be able to sprinkle out into the world. There'd be a nice incentive to have the NSO, the special expansion pack, NSO bundle, kind of like with Mario Kart 8. Although I would probably pay for the DLC if they released it that way without being part of NSO. Yeah, would like to see that. I would like to see, and this is a little more reasonable, I would like to see a gameplay trailer for Kirby Air Riders. I've been really looking forward to that ever since it was announced. Haven't played Kirby Air Ride in a long time, but it's something that I definitely played for quite a long stretch of time after it came out on GameCube originally. Would play it at my parents' office all the time on a little super tiny CRT. It was a good time. City Trial was just so much fun. Getting Dragoon built out was always such an awesome experience. Okay, sorry about that cut. Parenting and such. So anyways, I was talking about Kirby's Air Ride. So Kirby's Air Riders, it's interesting because it's Masahiro Sakurai. He's kind of back after everyone thought he was just going to retire after Smash Ultimate. Who can blame him? I've seen some little hints and rumors floating around that people are claiming he's got some contractual deal with Nintendo where he can make Kirby Air Riders if he comes back and works on another Smash. I don't really know if I believe that or not. I'm gonna choose not to believe it until I see it, But yeah, Kirby Air Riders, really excited for that. I think that's gonna be a really good game. It's coming out probably end of this year. I think they have pretty much confirmed it is supposed to come out this year, I believe. They just don't have a date for it. But I would like to see gameplay. I would like maybe a release date. It'd be really cool if it was coming sooner, than we expect. But I would also fully expect a Metroid Prime 4 release date. We need it. We're getting into like the back half of the year, and we still don't have a release date, but we know it's coming out. I'm going to predict it is an October release. I don't know why I feel that way. Like, I feel like it's a middle to end of October launch for that game. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And I'm also thinking that what they could do, and I think, sorry, it just keeps happening. But you know, it's the nature of being a gamer dad is that you have to do the dad portion sometimes. You know how it is. So I think, and I've talked about this before, it would be really beneficial if Nintendo got Metroid Prime 2 Echoes and Prime 3 Corruption out there. And I know I've made a video about them maybe doing a Wii NSO application. The files, I don't think they're that big, so I think it could be feasible and doable and probably run pretty well, you know, based on things I've talked about in other videos. Those Joy-Con 2s do be real special. So I think it would be really nice if Prime 2 and Prime 3 got, you know, not shadow dropped, but well, maybe Prime 2 could get shadow dropped and Prime 3 could get released in between this time and Prime 4 coming out. So I think having all 4 games on the platform would be absolutely incredible. And I'm surprised they're not already there, basically, is what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to get at least. But outside of that, other big games I would really like to see. So Monolith Soft has had a new IP in the works. I'm pretty sure it's a fantasy RPG. Big shocker. They've had that in the works for a while now. I don't know how many years they've been working on it, but I want to say that it's probably the reason why we haven't really heard anything on the Xenoblade front in a bit, and I'm about to get into that. So, you know, they just put out Xenoblade Chronicles X, but that was just a remaster. I mean, yeah, there are some really nice upgrades of that game that were, you know, definite improvements over the original. But cats, man, I don't know what they're doing. Stop. One second. We rolling? Oh my god, okay. We're rolling. She's looking at me. She knows she's up to something. Anyways. I'm trying to remember where I was. This is the problem with unscripted content, is I'm giving you the most honest one-on-one interaction I can possibly give a camera that is being held in front of my face. Monolith Soft. New IP, I would really like to see it revealed finally. You know, this original Switch, within like the first year or so, got Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which was a huge game for the time. And unfortunately, I think it is true that, you know, Monolith Soft probably thought the Switch hardware was going to be more powerful than it ended up being, because that game certainly struggles quite a bit, you know, on original hardware. A little bit more improved on Switch 2, just a little bit. You know, you basically are getting the best output resolution it can do at 30 frames per second locked. Which, I mean, you know, it runs better and it looks better than it usually does, but it's still not even 1080p. Like, it's suboptimal. So I'm interested to see what a new IP from Monolith Soft on actually good hardware will look like and how it will be. So their art design is insanely strong. I was kind of rambling about this on the stream tonight that we did, which, No More Heroes, if you're watching now, final stream probably tonight. We should be finishing the game tonight. Be there. I don't have a threat to use against you if you don't show up, but if I did, it would be very scary. So, anyways, yeah, I was rambling to the audience last night, or tonight, last night for you, that, Monolith Soft, they make really high quality products, but they've just basically been held back by the hardware. So, new IP, I'm really excited to see. I wonder if it's going to be a new Xeno game, like not Xenoblade, but they've done like Xenosaga and Xenogears, so maybe it'll be a new Xeno game, or it could be something completely different because they also made Bait and Kaitos back on the GameCube, so it could be anything. But knowing their pedigree and their work with Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart World, I would not be shocked if it's another big, massive, expansive, sort of open world RPG. That's really exciting, especially if it's a new IP. So I would like to see that. And I've been lobbying this whole time for this idea. I would love to see all of the Xenoblade games get Switch 2 updates. Like, it doesn't have to be an upgrade. I would pay for an upgrade if they did an upgrade, but it doesn't have to be. It could just be a free patch. Just please, please, please. I want them in 4K, and I want them running better than 30 frames per second. I understand that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is hard-coded to 30, but I feel like with a little bit of like polish and a little bit of elbow grease, they could get it done, get it to 60. Those games at 4K 60 would be a dream come true, and that would basically solidify Switch 2 as my current favorite hardware. I'm loving it so far, but man, you put Xenoblade Chronicles, the entire series, at the best they can be, that is a banger. That is an absolute 10 out of 10 console for me. So I would really love to see that. I don't know if it's going to happen so soon, because I feel like there's other first-party games that Nintendo's probably going to focus on first. But the cool thing about Monolith Soft is they're really awesome at multitasking, clearly, because they were working Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom while also working on mainline RPGs that were huge. So yeah, I would absolutely love that. Now, for my outlandish things I would like to see that I know will never happen, we're almost done here, don't worry. I really would like, again, I feel like I've harped on this plenty. Xenoblade came out on the Wii, and it got a nice Switch port. I would like for Last Story and Pandora's Tower to also receive nice Switch 2 ports. I've been going on that for a bit now, and I would love to see it. I don't think it's going to happen. So, anyways, yeah, there's definitely a lot that could happen during a direct. That I feel like we already know plenty. Donkey Kong, Metroid Prime 4, Kirby Air Riders. There's probably a few other things that are eluding me right now. But that's not really that much in the grand scheme of things. Like, Nintendo usually likes to have you informed. I guess there's the new Splatoon game. But Nintendo usually likes to have you informed on what's happening all the way up into like early next year, by this point in time of the year, whenever they do a direct. So I feel like if they did have one, we would see things that are new that we honestly can't really guess. But I just want to end this by saying, take all leaks from any source with a grain of salt. I don't care what rate or percentage these people are accurate. There have been so many times where people have been like saying, oh, it's happening this week, and then it never happens. And then the next week they go, oh, it's happening this week, and then it never happens. And eventually they get it right? But usually they get it wrong. So I know it was an insider insider. I don't really know who it was that made the claim. I can't give any validity to it. So don't get your hopes up, is what I'm trying to say. If it happens, awesome. Maybe we'll do a live reaction, but don't be upset if it doesn't happen. So anyways, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time.